2022 is just around the corner and everybody might be talking about goal setting. And the truth is, this is not really an INFJ thing. We are daydreamers. So we're people who love to go through the day not knowing what's going to happen. And that is one of the things that we enjoy about being an INFJ. But we're also visionaries. So there's always this thing of, I'm thinking about the future. I'm imagining it. I just don't want to have any plans around it. I don't want to have any boundaries around it. And the thing is this, we as INFJs have a particular way of making things happen. So what we really need to do is to come up with a way that is not only working for us as INFJs, so we feel like we're not stepping out of our elements, we're not pretending to be some other type just to make it look like, this is working for us. Because, sometimes it looks nice from the outside. People are getting all excited, they're writing down their goals, they're crushing them. And if we try to do that, it just feels like we're pretending. It doesn't feel good, it's not exciting, and then we just give it all up right away. But the truth is, there are ways to set goals and to sort of crush them, but in an INFJ style, in such a way where you feel excited today, you feel excited about every step you take, you feel excited about getting up in the next morning, you feel excited about reaching something that you have intended, something that you have created in your mind. And that is a completely different scenario than saying, okay, I should lose weight, or I should, buy this thing, or have like those goals that sort of seem like they're just given to us and they might not feel natural to us. So today we're really going to talk about what actually works, because I have learned from them. I've created amazing things in my life using the strategies I'm going to talk to you about, and we use them all the time in boot camp. We use them all the time in our one-on-one coaching sessions. If you haven't done this so far, by the way, then download the 5 Pillars to an INFJ Epic Life, because these are the lessons learned. These are the things that, after working with thousands of INFJs, I have learned make the biggest difference in creating that life, this INFJ Epic Life on your terms. And if you say, I'm even ready for the next step, 2022 is my year, then join the boot camp. The next live round is going live in just a couple of weeks. So make sure you're on that list. You get access to the early bird price and you don't miss when we go live, because there's no late admission. So first off, let's talk about goal setting altogether. This is one of the things that most INFJs don't do to begin with. I did this video, why adulting is the INFJ's worst nightmare, and this goes hand in hand to it. It seems like if we set goals, it's like we're restricting ourselves. It feels like it's not in alignment with who we are. But the point is, the reason why we don't like doing this is because this is not in alignment with who we really are. It's like a box we feel like we have to put ourselves into, others are getting excited about, and we don't really care about them. It might be about buying some materialistic things that we don't care about. It might be about climbing a social or corporate ladder that we don't want to be in to begin with. And therefore we say, I'm cutting it all out together. We as INFJs are in this unique position that we're not going to go for those fake goals. And this is saving us a lot of time. It's years that we might have tried to go on certain kind of binges or, certain directions because they sort of seemed like what society wants of us. And we already know this isn't working for us. So that saves us a lot of time. But that doesn't mean that you have to be satisfied with a life that doesn't excite you, with a life where you settle, where you sort of feel like, yeah, other people are having fun, but I'm just in the background. I'm just watching, I'm an observer, and you're sort of like hoping that something external is happening. In order to make that happen, we have to take charge of our life, and we have to do it in such a way that actually allows us to get out of the box. We as INFJs by nature don't like to be put into boxes. Not only don't we like it when other people do this to us, but it also doesn't feel natural to us. What we like, what makes us feel excited, is when we have the opportunity to be as big as we could ever be. And all throughout our life, we've been sort of taught that's not acceptable. That's not what everybody else does. That's not what's going to get you the friends. That's not what's going to get you the external success. Thankfully, we live now in almost 2022 when, through globalization, through so much information that we get through the internet, we see that there's also a different way of living, that we can live on our own terms, that we don't have to play by certain certain rules that sort of seem like everybody's playing around us. And that is the thing that's going to make the biggest difference for you. And that is also the first thing I had to learn for myself, is that I have to set goals. If I'm not setting any goals, things are not happening, because no matter how great my imagination is, no matter how great my vision is, the truth is life is happening outside of us to begin with. Meaning, no matter what I do, people around me will want things from me. Society will move in a certain direction. And the list goes on and on. You will have family obligations or some kind of things that you feel like you have to do. And we as INFJs, who are very impressionable people, and please don't take this the wrong way, right? I mean, it sounds like, oh, we're impressionable. Does that mean people can manipulate us? Not really. But the point is that we can absorb a lot of other people's emotional states. And if we get into our favorite position, which is laid back, relaxed, not making plans, and we have this all the time, you will be drifting in some kind of direction. And I've never met an INFJ who hasn't experienced that. And that is just something we have to be honest with ourselves about, right? That these things will happen. You will be doing the things that your best friend maybe wants to do because you don't want to think about what you want, right? And so life happens outside of you. You get pulled in certain directions and you don't even recognize how it happened that you're in a place that you don't want to be in, where you don't like maybe the place that you're living in. You might not like the job that you're doing. You might not like your relationships, and you don't know how all of that happened. As I always say, we as INFJs, we don't have to do all the things. We don't have to turn ourselves into an ISTJ or an ESTJ and be tedious and do like all of these things that bring us no joy whatsoever. You just have to do the right things. And if you allow yourself to say, okay, I'm going to discipline myself in just those little tiny bits. I'm going to set up my life in such a way that on the one hand, it gets me out of my comfort zone, but it doesn't overwhelm me. And here's the trick, and this is probably something you will experience only once you've started this process, is that in the end, you will have more free time. You will have more time to dream. You'll have more free space to be yourself. Because one way or another, we have to accept that if we are not pushing our life forward, someone else will, because it's all about energy and we will pick up other people's energy. But if you make it a point that you put your energy forward and you exude some kind of energy towards that, you will see that this will be like an anchor and an arrow that points you into the direction where you want to go. So the first thing, as I said, you have to set goals. And the best time to start is the new year, because on top of everything, you have a little bit more accountability. You have other people setting goals. You see it everywhere around you, right? We're starting boot camp. We're talking about it. You see videos on like goal setting. People are getting excited. Get meshed up in this excitement. Use this to your advantage. It's not like that's the only time to start, but the best time to start is always now. And since you have all that external motivation around you that you can use to your advantage, why not do it? So when it comes to goal setting, ask yourself what you already know could improve your life. And don't think of it so much in the sense of, okay, but that's not really going to make me happy. That's not really going to, make me feel like I'm more excited about life. Because that feeling will come as a second step. What we as INFJs have to do is to know that no matter what kind of goals we set, they're only a guideline. What we really want as INFJs is to become a person who is excited about their life, who's excited about the choices they're making, and who's excited about the entire process day to day. And I know how it is not to feel that. I know how it is to be in that mindset of, I have just given up. I have settled for this life because I just don't think there's an alternative. I've tried everything, but there's one thing I hadn't tried, and that is to say, I'm going to go against what people might want from me. I'm going to go against what people would want to see from me. And you might say, okay, we all do that, right? Nobody of us wants to be a people pleaser, right? We all want to be unique, and that's probably the reason why people think we're weird and so on. But so often, we're not going far enough. We're not really sharing our real truth. We're not sharing some parts of us that maybe others will find intimidating or, eccentric or weird, because we feel like there's just not going to be anybody that I can connect with once I do this. But the point is to say, I'm going to choose me no matter what. And if there's absolutely nobody who's going to connect with me, then I'm still going to do that, because it's better to be disliked for who you are than to be liked for somebody you're not. And so goal setting might be all of those things that you hear in other videos, like, okay, I want to get a job that is more in alignment with who I want to be. It's not about climbing a corporate ladder or having so much more friends in this one area. It's about saying, okay, what do I actually want? I want my personal gifts to be cherished. I want to feel like the way I want to live, that is the exciting part. And in order to make that happen, you have to take the steps towards that. So for example, let's say you want to be a singer or you want to be a writer, but you're actually working in accounting. You can work in accounting, continue that, but you have to choose that second path as well. It's about choosing to become a person who chooses themselves, who chooses the things that are important to you. Although in the beginning, they might not feel like fun. There's this example I continue to give because, in the end, it's not like everybody's seen everything I've talked about. The point is this: imagine you're in a cornfield and all your life you've gone this one path. This path is already flat, it's easy to walk through, but it's not going towards a place where you want to be. On the other hand, there could be the place that you want to be, and that is a state of mind. That is a way of living. That's a way of being excited. You really change the way you see yourself, and that is going to make the biggest difference, right? You can't just put yourself in a different place and everything's going to be different. You need to change. You need to get to a place where you feel like you're more of who you really are, not less. You're not pretending to be somebody you're not. You're choosing to be the person that you want to be, right? You say, well, I like the way I am. I like my ideas. And maybe the people around me, the 5 people that I know, don't see this, don't understand this. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to share them and reach out to people who could benefit from that. So in that cornfield, there's this new path that you could go on. But that path will take work because you need to go through it first. You need to flatten it. You need to create it. And so that will need energy. That's why I always say, check out the poster with the 5 pillars, where the first pillar is physical energy management. Because in order to go for your goals, in order to set those things up, in order to decide who you want to be, you need to create that energy that's going to be necessary to step out of that box. That has happened just by simply being alive and people pulling at you from all different angles. That has just happened. That's natural, and it's just something we have to accept. But that doesn't mean that this is the way it has to stay. You can now make that pull. You can say, no, this is the person I want to be. And I know how hard it is in the beginning, and I know how much energy it seems to take. But trust me, at some point, this path will be flat. At some point, you will have created this way for you, and it will be easy, and it will be so much more in flow because you're less restricted by those boxes you've pulled. If you want some more inspiration in what areas to set those goals, look at the 5 pillars, set a goal in each one of those pillars, and don't overdo it, right? Because if there's one thing I've learned for me and as being a coach to so many INFJs, we need to take things slow. We need to have success stories in our life. We need to set goals that are realistic, goals that will make us like we're moving forward, something that is stretching you. If the goal is small and you think like, no matter what I do, I'm going to reach it. Like, for example, okay, I need to work 4 more months at this job and then I'm going to get a promotion. That's going to happen one way or another. It's also not beneficial if you set a goal that is just so out of your space that you feel disconnected and unmotivated because I'm not going to reach that anyway. It has to be something where okay, I could do this, but I need to stretch myself a little bit to make that happen. And the greatest thing about this is you gain confidence in the person you want to be. You are proud of the person that you continuously choose to become. You're keeping the promises you make to yourself. And that is the biggest reward of it all. That's how you set and crush goals INFJ style. Do it now for 2022. Again, if you want some more motivation, some more hacks, some more things that have actually worked for so many INFJs, then join the bootcamp. The waiting list is open now. You have all the information you need in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video on why adulting is INFJ's worst nightmare.